I am married, and my husband and I have been together for 8 years. Things are fine, normal ups and downs, some stress lately because of work and family stuff, but nothing catastrophic, the kind of life where you know you're blessed, even when you're bickering over whose turn it is to take out the recycling or feeling the weight of your parents' aging settling on your shoulders like a fine, persistent dust. It was into this ordinary, carefully balanced life that the bomb was dropped, not with a dramatic explosion, but with a hushed, after-work glass of wine that would forever stain the fabric of my longest friendship. If you're finding yourself gripped by this real-life dilemma, if this story echoes the complicated silences in your own world, then please, subscribe to this channel. Hitting that button is the signal I need to keep bringing you these raw, unvarnished stories from the shadows of everyday life, the struggles people face behind closed doors. Your support motivates me to delve deeper and share the truths we often whisper but rarely shout. Now, let's return to the heart of this moral storm. My best friend, let's call her Chloe because the real name still feels like a betrayal to even type, recently started confiding in me about her affair. She's been married for 3 years to Mark, a genuinely good, if sometimes quiet, man who remembers our anniversary and fixed our garbage disposal, and she started seeing a coworker about 6 months ago. The confession didn't come as a single, sobbing admission of guilt, but rather in tantalizing, gossipy snippets she'd weave into our conversations, her eyes sparkling with a dangerous, illicit excitement I'd never seen in her before. It began with, "Oh my God, you'll never believe what happened at the conference," and quickly escalated into detailed, play-by-play accounts of whispered phone calls in office stairwells and clandestine lunches that stretched into stolen afternoons at a hotel across town. The first time she told me, my stomach dropped, a cold dread pooling deep inside me. I remember the exact feeling, the chill of the wine glass in my hand, the way the evening sun suddenly seemed too bright, too exposing. I told her I didn't want to be involved, that this was a path paved with consequences I wanted no part of. I said the words clearly, I thought, "Chloe, this makes me incredibly uncomfortable. I can't be your sounding board for this." But my boundary became a mere suggestion she felt entitled to ignore. She kept telling me details, the intimacy of them feeling like a violation not just of her marriage, but of our friendship. She'd text me updates from her lover's car, dissect his messages for hidden meaning, and then, most brazenly, began to ask me for advice on how to sneak around. She wanted logistical counsel, a co-conspirator in the architecture of her deception. What's a good excuse for why I'll be home late Tuesday? Should I pay for this dinner in cash so Mark doesn't see the receipt? Each question felt like she was handing me a single brick, asking me to help her build the wall that would eventually crush her husband. And when I refused, when I reiterated my discomfort, she weaponized our history. She said I was being judgmental, that a real friend would be supportive, that I was acting holier than thou, just because I didn't want to get my hands dirty in the mess of her life. The manipulation was a masterclass in emotional blackmail, twisting my loyalty into a test I was failing. The climax of her audacity came last weekend, a perfectly ordinary Saturday I was spending cleaning the house and doing laundry, the mundane soundtrack of my life. She called, her voice breathy with a concocted panic. She needed a cover story, a solid alibi for an entire evening. And then she asked the question that severed something fundamental between us. She asked if she could use my house as an excuse. She wanted to tell Mark she was with me, watching movies, having a girls' night, a lie so simple and yet so profoundly corrosive. She wanted to taint my home, the sanctuary I've built with my husband, and turn it into a seedy motel for her infidelity. The request felt like a spiritual violation. I said absolutely not. The words came out sharper than I intended, fueled by a surge of protective anger for my own space, my own marriage, my own integrity. I told her I was uncomfortable and that she was putting me in an impossible position, that she was forcing me to choose between our friendship and my own moral code. Now she's mad. The silence from her end is no longer comfortable, it's a punishing, icy wall. She's painted me as the villain in her story, the unsupportive friend who abandoned her in her time of need. She doesn't need a friend, she needs an accomplice, and her anger is the price I'm being made to pay for refusing the role. My husband, the logical, protective anchor in my life, says to just cut her off entirely. His perspective is clean, uncluttered by the messy, decade-long tapestry of shared memories that tie me to Chloe. He sees a clear and present danger to my peace of mind, a toxicity that needs to be excised. "She's not your friend anymore," he said, his voice firm with a certainty I desperately wish I felt. "A friend doesn't ask you to lie for them. A friend doesn't get mad when you won't compromise your own marriage." And intellectually, I know he is right. Every fiber of my logical being agrees with him. But the heart is a treacherous, sentimental thing. Part of me feels a deep, gnawing guilt, a sense of responsibility forged over 15 years of friendship. We have been through everything together: awkward first dates, college all-nighters, the devastating loss of her father, the joyous celebration of my wedding. She stood by me through my own rough patches, and now a voice in my head, the one that confuses history with obligation, whispers that I am abandoning her when she needs someone, even if what she needs is profoundly wrong. This is the insidious trap of manipulation. It makes you question your own character for upholding basic decency. And this internal conflict inevitably leads me to the terrifying, looming question that hangs over every single day: should I tell? Should I call Mark, a man I've shared barbecues and laughter with, and shatter his world with a truth he doesn't deserve to be kept from? The thought of doing it makes me feel physically ill. The messenger, as the saying goes, is always shot. I would be irrevocably branding myself as the one who destroyed his marriage, even though Chloe is the one wielding the wrecking ball. The fallout would be nuclear: the end of my friendship, certainly, but also potentially a messy, sprawling drama that could pull in mutual friends, create factions, and stain my own life with a permanent, toxic residue. Yet, the alternative, staying silent, being an unwilling vault for a secret that is actively destroying a man's life, feels like its own kind of sin. It feels cowardly. Every time I see Mark post a happy picture of them on social media, my stomach clenches with the weight of the lie. He is living in a house of cards, and I'm standing by, knowing a hurricane is coming but refusing to warn him. I am trapped in the impossible no man's land between betrayal and truth, between loyalty to a friend and loyalty to what is right. The stress is leaching into my own marriage, making me short-tempered and distracted, the very family stuff I mentioned now magnified by this secret burden. My safe, normal life with its normal ups and downs feels like a facade, and I'm the one being forced to hold it up while my best friend dances in the ruins of her own making. I am lost in a forest of bad options, and every path forward seems to lead to a different kind of pain. So now, I am turning to you, my sincere and thoughtful audience, because life rarely gives us easy answers. I have laid my truth bare before you. What would you do if you were in my place? The silence is becoming unbearable. Should I uphold my boundary and walk away, mourning the friend I thought I had? Should I give her an ultimatum to come clean? Or does the husband's right to know outweigh the catastrophic fallout of me being the one to tell him? Please, share your honest thoughts and advice in the comments below. Have you faced a similar betrayal of trust from a friend? Your perspective could be the guiding light I so desperately need. And if this story of silent moral crises resonates with you, if you see the shadows of your own life in these words, please show your support, like this video and subscribe to the channel. You are my motivation to continue uncovering these powerful, real-life narratives, to give a voice to the private battles and unspoken dilemmas that people like you and I face in the quiet corners of our lives. Thank you for listening.